What's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if your name is Trina Braxton, I will never forgive you because you got me out here siding with Tamar and applauding her. Now, if you're wondering why we might be siding with Tamar, it's because Tamar is the only Braxton speaking truth to craziness. And now I'm beginning to think that they drive Tamar crazy because I think Tamar is a talented, beautiful, but a hot mess personally. But now seeing what's going on with the family, I'm like, maybe she is the winner out of all this. Because as crazy as she is, she still has a moral compass for what is right and what is wrong. Unless you ask why Mendici was at her apartment at 3 a.m. I guess they were rehearsing lines. Okay, fine. Let's get to the point. Tamar has been going at it with her whole family because if you guys don't know, and I know y'all know, but let me just bring everybody up to speed. Their niece, Ashley, came out and said that she was by Gabe, okay? Yes, dirtbag Gabe, Smex addict Gabe. Gabe that even Trina's sons were like, what are you talking about? He wasn't a father to us. Well, guess what? About to say Tawanda. Tawanda has turned out to be such a liar. Woo! And Tamar better charge back everything she put on her card. But anyway, right? Let me get back to point. Because Tamar said I paid for your down payment and you've been stealing off my credit cards. And Tawanda was like, you steal too. And Tamar was like, I don't steal nothing. Excuse you? And she's like, you stole a man. And Tamar was like, what? And she's like, Tony's man. You slept with one of Tony's boyfriends a couple of times. And Tony was like, huh? And Tamar's like, oh, you an MF liar. I do believe Tawanda is a liar. And I think that in her mind, she thinks that Tamar is so loose and so all over the place and so whatever that she would do that. But honestly, that's a projection from Tawanda because Tamar might be a lot of things, but messing around with her sister's man, Tony and Tamar are like this. She never gave me that tea. She is a dum-dum in her own right, but she never gave me tea that she would ever do anything that low down. So when Tawanda said this, I said, okay, Tawanda. Anyway, way to cover up the fact that you've been running up Tamar's credit card without her permission, according to Tamar. So anyway, the niece Ashley came out and said, yo, when I was underage, Gabe was doing all this stuff to me and you need to do something about it. And when she came out, she said she was shut down by her family. However, Tamar was the only one to speak truth to power and be like, no, we've been through it. I stand by Ashley. Gabe ain't, well, we didn't know it was Gabe. She said that person ain't ish and all this other stuff. Tamar did what needed to be done, which made me think like, you know what? Maybe we're too hard on Tamar. Tamar looked like she came like there's something going on in that family. And the fact that Tamar is getting through life trying to figure it out, I guess she really is doing the best she can, right? So all the family is ganging up, this and that, but they kind of let it go because they realized it wasn't a good look. But who didn't? The pick-me that married Gabe, Trina. Trina came out and gave this insane response. Let's listen to it and then we go and tear it apart because as you listen to this, know that Gabe cheated on her left, right, and the third. Left, right, and humiliated her every time. Trina kept trying to push Gabe up at this great father. Her own sons couldn't stand Gabe and said, he's not the father that my mom makes him seem like that my mom is trying to make him out to believe. Basically saying, you just don't want to lose this man and you trying to create all these fake narratives about why you keep this man around and the narratives you create. Oh, he a good father. He might be bad to me, but he a good father. The sons were like, he ain't a good father. You just want that piece of man around because you want that piece of man around. Gabe that cheated on her left, right. Gabe that they said was going for Smex addiction. If he is going for Smex addiction and he is a known dirtbag and you know he's a dirtbag, why is it so hard to believe that this dirtbag pushed up on your younger, right, and very beautiful niece? This is what dirt bags do. But somehow that's a whole step apart. He might bleep the whole neighborhood, but he would never bleep with my family. Tell me I'm glad. I'm not glad because that's a very backward way. She needs to talk to her boys because I believe that someone that has an addiction that doesn't have boundaries, they just don't have boundaries. But second of all, I'm glad Trina never had any daughters because she is giving Precious. the mom from Precious. She is giving, you will do anything you can to excuse the behavior and keep your man. Even ignoring what he did and trying to be. Anyway, listen to what she said, because she really got me mad. And I usually don't pay attention to what Trina says, because Trina is she's not right in the head, right? She's not right in the head. But, it's just, ugh. Let's get into what Trina said, because, hold on. All right, I found it. Let's play this bad boy. Hold on. Trina, be ready to be mad. Trina, God, just a mess.
Revelation. You had some.
Now, when before we said, I know, let me just set this up for you. I already knew she was on bullshit because she had church lady glasses on. And anytime somebody got those church lady glasses on and that cobalt blue and the church curls, I already knew she was going to be on some bullshit. But let's listen.
Feelings about that. How did you feel it ended up?
Well, first I'll say that you can never deny anybody their truth. But when you say that someone has their truth, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. It is just the truth as they interpret it.
So you would never. Did he try to push up on her or not? Did he send her inappropriate messages or not? Did he say inappropriate things to her or not? Did he try or not? What do you mean? When it comes to something, what? You mean to tell me a woman doesn't know when a well-known dirtbag is trying to push up on them? A little girl doesn't know that weird energy coming from a grown man who looks like he's always a drunken dirtbag? But let's keep going.
I wish her healing. I pray for her healing. But on the other hand, I know as a person, me, myself, I can't be held accountable for someone else's actions.
Yeah.
And
which is true. You cannot be held accountable for somebody's actions until you come in and try to defend those actions. Do people realize that? You're right. The sins of the father do not fall on the child. But when you come in and defend that person's actions, now you got to take the smoke that comes with it. Do you know what I'm saying? The fact that she is saying this, that's like saying that if you side with the devil, you don't got to take smoke for the devil's actions. What? You became a soldier for that person. Not even that. I hate when churchy people are like, I wish her healing. Trying to say she's crazy. Trying to say she's not telling the truth. You wish she heals. I wish her healing for your dirtbag ex-husband.
As an aunt, I did.
Sorry. Here we go. Wait, hold on.
Their truth, it doesn't necessarily mean it's the truth. It is just the truth as they interpret it.
The truth.
I wish her healing. I pray for her healing.
You pray for her healing.
But on the other hand, I know as a person, me, myself, I can't be held accountable for someone else's actions.
Covering up you can.
And as an aunt, I did all the things that I could. I embraced her. I let her know, you're my family. If you need anything from me, I'm here. And I can't speak for the dead. I can't speak for the deceased. But all I can do is just speak for me and just be there if ever she needs me.
Yeah. They showed on the show that you got some bullying comments on social media. Were you surprised by all of that?
Well, no, because...
No, because I've been a lifelong pick-me. People always drag me.
You're already... You've already been sentenced, and that's something that people didn't understand because they didn't get the full scope of the story and what happened.
What was this full story? She came in wearing a skirt that was a little bit too short. She came in with makeup on, and she know Gabe got a problem. Gabe texted her, and she engaged in the conversation. What's the story? That your little niece, who was underage, I believe, came. And even if she wasn't, she was still much, much younger. What's the story? Please, I'd like to know.
There's so much more that could be told. There's so much more that should have been told. However, none of it should have been for public consumption.
Oh,
Yeah,
and there we have it.
I think if you already...
None of it should have been for public consumption, because that's family business, right? Your husband scarred her. The reaction of the family scarred her. But your issue isn't with your dirtbag ex-husband. Your issue isn't with all this. You did what you could. You embraced it. But she shouldn't have came out publicly and said it. You don't... Oh, Trina make me so mad. You just said that you had nothing to do with this. So why should you be held accountable? Gabe is dead, right? I'm being real. He really is dead. I'm not trying to be... How do you, who you say my name's Bennett, I ain't in it, I ain't got ish to do with that. How are you now dictating how someone else that was scarred, how they heal? How does that work? Don't make me accountable. I'm not responsible. Okay. But let me tell you how you need to heal. No. You choose to take when Gabe was feeding you humiliation sandwich over and over and over again. It haven't even your boys looking you crazy. You chose to shut up and eat it. And you obviously like the taste of ish because you was eating it. You was eating it up. Who are you to tell the next generation that they got to learn to love the taste of ish too? This is the problem. This is the problem.
For healing, I think if you want healing, I think if you're looking for healing, you have to speak to the person where you feel like you can get resolve first, not open forum.
There's a lot in the season.
Okay, so Tracy wants us to know that if you're hurt, you need to speak to the person that victimized you or the people that can give you healing. You need to speak to them in a way that they find acceptable. And then if they feel like it, they will deem you. They will, not deem you. They will bless you, anoint you with their what? See, let me tell you about Trina. And this isn't Trina because I don't know her personally, but this is about women and men too. But Trina's a woman, so I'm speaking to women about women that will protect the man and the man's legacy at any cost. Let me take you on a flashback. Trina revealed that despite Gabe's infidelity, he's an amazing man to her and her boys for many years. Now, the boys came out and said that Trina was lying and that he wasn't a father at all. But Trina is so desperate to have this fantasy she was bred to have, that she will ignore everything, even this mofo messing with her niece. Although they're not his biological children, he stepped up and raised them, leaving a lasting impact on their lives. The boys said that's not true. Trina also shared that her current husband, Von Scales, punished her for grieving the passing of her ex-husband, Gabe Solis, which added even more pain to her healing process. Trina just ditzy. She a dizzy broad when it comes to men. Huh? First of all, you grieving Gabe, I guess, but we already in dum-dum land, so let's just skip on the lollipop lane. But now your new man is punished. Okay. This sheds light on why Trina became so defensive and emotional when her niece Ashley Braxton spoke out with claims of being abused by Gabe and accused her aunt of taking his side. All of this has created a heartbreaking and complicated family dynamic that continues to play out publicly. So let me get this straight. Gabe was a sex addict that didn't raise your boys, wasn't a father. You fronted like he was because you wanted an excuse to grieve why you couldn't let this man go and love them so much. That happened, and then your new husband was super mean and wouldn't let you grieve, and now it's Ashley's fault that the man you chose to be by didn't let you grieve, and it's Ashley's fault that the next man, the one that that you're grieving over, actually tried to push up on your little niece. Y'all, the patriarchy, we're not beating it anytime soon. So now Ashley, it's her fault. Now it's Ashley's fault that you couldn't grieve Gabe, whatever his name is, pervert. You couldn't grieve the pervert. Are you serious? Now this is why you upset? You got all these excuses why you upset. Just say why you really upset. You were proud of having Gabe and a man that looked like Gabe. And you were proud to have his love. And you, for whatever reason, could not let go. And you want to protect Gabe's image and who Gabe is, because in your mind, being with a man like that was your shining example. That is your legacy. That's what you want people to know you for and be remembered for. And you will be damned if anyone, especially that little hot to trot niece, Ashley, does anything about it. Let's get into this. Listen, Trina needs to hold Gabe accountable, okay? How are you defending this man over your own family? Listen, shout out to Tamar for doing what needed to be done and actually bringing some common sense to this. But otherwise than that, I ain't got nothing to say. All right, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. And don't go easy on her. And y'all better not be in those comments defending Gabe. And if you do, do it respectfully. Crazies. Anyway, y'all, whoever is defending Gabe, you crazy. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Go ahead and change it. Trina, you better not be in those comments on your burner account. That's all I know. That's all I know. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.